This video is for educational purposes. Santo Domingo, once known as Santo Domingo de Guzman, known as Ciudad Trujillo between 1936 and 1961, is the capital and largest city of the Dominican Republic and the largest metropolitan area in the Caribbean by population. As of 2022, the city and immediate surrounding area, the Distrito Nacional, had a population of 1,029,110 while the total population is 3,798,699 when including Greater Santo Domingo. The city is coterminous with the boundaries of the Distrito Nacional itself, bordered on three sides by Santo Domingo province. Kindly subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends and families. Founded by the Spanish in 1496, on the east bank of the Ozama River and then moved by Nicolas de Ovando in 1502 to the west bank of the river, the city is the oldest continuously inhabited European settlement in the Americas, and was the first seat of the Spanish colonial rule in the New World, the Captaincy General of Santo Domingo. It is the site of the first university, cathedral, castle, monastery, and fortress in the New World. The city's colonial zone was declared as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Santo Domingo was called Ciudad Trujillo, Spanish pronunciation, from 1936 to 1961, after the Dominican Republic's dictator, Rafael Trujillo, named the capital after himself. Following his assassination, the city resumed its original designation. Santo Domingo is the cultural, financial, political, commercial and industrial center of the Dominican Republic, with the vast majority of the country's most important industries being located within the city. Santo Domingo also serves as the chief seaport of the country. The city's harbor at the mouth of the Ozama River accommodates the largest vessels, and the port handles both heavy passenger and freight traffic. Prior to the arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1492, the native Taino people populated the island, which they called Quisqueya, Quisquela, mother of all lands, and Ayatay, the land of the high mountains, and which Columbus later named Hispaniola, including the territory of today's Republic of Haiti. At the time, the island's territory consisted of 5 chiefdoms: Marin, Magua, Maguana, Jaragua, and Higüey. These were ruled respectively by caciques, chiefs, Guacanagarics, Garionex, Cayanabo, Bohiquio, and Cayacoa. The Ozama Fortress is one of the surviving sections of the walls of Santo Domingo, which is recognized by UNESCO as being the oldest military construction of European origin in the Americas. Dating from 1493, when the Spanish settled on the island, and officially from August 5, 1498, Santo Domingo became the oldest European city in the Americas. Bartholomew Columbus founded the settlement and named it La Nueva Isabela, after La Isabela, an earlier settlement in the north named after the Queen of Spain Isabella I. In 1495 it was renamed Santo Domingo, in honor of Saint Dominic. Santo Domingo came to be known as the gateway to the Caribbean and the chief town in Hispaniola from then on. Expeditions which led to Ponce de Leon's colonization of Puerto Rico, Diego Velázquez de Cuéllar's colonization of Cuba, Hernando Cortés' conquest of Mexico, and Vasco Núñez de Balboa's sighting of the Pacific Ocean were all launched from Santo Domingo. In June 1502, Santo Domingo was destroyed by a major hurricane, and the new governor Nicolas de Ovando had it rebuilt on a different site on the other side of the Ozama River. The original layout of the city and a large portion of its defensive wall can still be appreciated today throughout the colonial zone, declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Diego Columbus, Christopher Columbus' son, arrived in 1509, assuming the powers of viceroy and admiral. In 1512, Ferdinand established a Real Audiencia with Juan Ortiz de Matienzo, Marcelo de Villalobos, and Lucas Vázquez de Ayllón appointed as judges of appeal. In 1514, Pedro Ibáñez de Ibarra arrived with the laws of Burgos. Rodrigo de Albuquerque was named Repartidor de Indios and soon named Visitadores to enforce the laws. The first major slave revolt in the Americas occurred in Santo Domingo during 1521, when enslaved Africans led an uprising on Diego Columbus's sugar plantation. In 1586, the privateer Sir Francis Drake captured the city and held it for ransom. A report which reached the English government in May 1586 states that from Santo Domingo he took away 1,200 Englishmen, Frenchmen, Flemings, and provincials out of prison, besides 800 of the Countray people. Drake's successful capture signaled the decline of Spain's dominion over Hispaniola, which was accentuated in the early 17th century by Spanish policies that resulted in the depopulation of most of the island outside of the capital. An expedition sent by Oliver Cromwell in 1655 attacked the city of Santo Domingo, but the English force was repulsed by a smaller force of local militias and Santo Domingo suffered only 25 dead. In 1697, the Treaty of Ryswick included the acknowledgement by Spain of France's dominion over the western third of the island, now Haiti. During the 18th century, privateers from Santo Domingo patrolled the Caribbean, capturing numerous enemy merchantmen. From 1795 to 1822, the city changed hands several times along with the colony it headed. It was ceded to France in 1795. The city was briefly captured by Haitian rebels in 1801, recovered by France in 1802, endured a failed invasion from Haiti in 1805, and was once again reclaimed by Spain in 1809. In 1821, Santo Domingo became the capital of an independent nation called the Republic of Spanish Haiti after the Criollo bourgeois within the country, led by José Núñez de Cáceres, overthrew the Spanish crown. The nation was annexed by Haiti just 2 months later. The city and the colony lost much of their Spanish-born peninsular population as a result of these events, which caused a great deal of instability and unrest. On February 27, 1844, Santo Domingo was again the capital of a free nation, when it gained its independence from Haiti, led by Dominican nationalist Juan Pablo Duarte. The city was a prize fought over by various political factions over the succeeding decades of instability. In addition, the country had to fight multiple battles with Haiti: the Battle of March 19, Battle of March 30, Battle of Las Carreras, and Battle of Bel-Air, are a few of the most prominent encounters, mentioned in the national anthem and with city streets named after them. Dominican victory in these engagements thwarted the advance of the Haitian army toward Santo Domingo during the Dominican War of Independence. In 1861, Spain returned to the country, having struck a bargain with Dominican dictator Pedro Santana whereby the latter was granted several honorific titles and privileges, in exchange for annexing the young nation back to Spanish rule. The Dominican Restoration War began in 1863 however, and in 1865 the Bourbon Queen Isabella II withdrew her soldiers from the island. Over the next two-thirds of a century, Santo Domingo and the Dominican Republic went through many revolutions and power changes. Santo Domingo would experience the first of 2 U.S. invasions in 1916 when different leaders fought for presidential power and control of the city. The United States intervened, instituting a military leader, Harry Shepard Knapp. U.S. Marines and Dominicans clashed in Santo Domingo on October 24 to 25, 1916, resulting in the deaths of 2 U.S. Marines and 3 Dominicans. The city was struck by Hurricane San Zenon in 1930, which caused major damage and killed up to 8,000 people. After its rebuilding, Santo Domingo was known officially as Ciudad Trujillo due to the personality cult imposed by dictator Rafael Leonidas Trujillo, who governed from 1930. Following his assassination in 1961, the city was renamed back to Santo Domingo. In 1962, Juan Bosch was elected to the presidency. He was overthrown 7 months later, resulting in a civil war in the capital. Francisco Camaño led the Constitucionalistas fighting to restore democracy. This would lead to the second U.S. invasion in 1965. U.S. troops engaged in heavy fighting in the streets of Santo Domingo against the Constitucionalistas on June 15 and June 16. Newsweek described it this way: amid the clatter of automatic weapons, the sharp rattle of .50 caliber guns and the heavy explosions of bazookas and recoilless rifles, the paratroopers of the 82nd U.S. Airborne Division blasted their way 4 city blocks into Camaño's bastion. Heavy fire from U.S. guns across the Ozama River ringed rebel headquarters on El Conde Street, shattered buildings, and started huge fires. Eventually, the fighting would end on August 31, 1965, with 2,850 Dominicans and 44 American servicemen dead. The year 1992 marked the 500th anniversary, El Quinto Centenario, of Christopher Columbus' discovery of the Americas. The Columbus Lighthouse, Faro a Colón, was erected in Santo Domingo in honor of this occasion, with an approximate cost of 400 million Dominican pesos. The Ozama River flows 148 kilometers, 92 miles, before emptying into the Caribbean Sea. Santo Domingo's position on its banks was of great importance to the city's economic development and the growth of trade during colonial times. The Ozama River is where the country's busiest port is located. The average temperature in Santo Domingo varies little, because the tropical trade winds help mitigate the heat and humidity throughout the year. Thanks to these trade winds, Santo Domingo has a borderline tropical rainfall as its driest month is very close to 60 millimeters, 2.4 in. However, the city seldom experiences the heat that one may expect to find. December through March are the coolest months with warm days with less humidity and cool nights, temperatures of 17 to 19 degrees Celsius, 63 to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. July through September are the hottest. Santo Domingo averages 1,445 millimeters, 56.9 in, of rain annually. Its driest months are from December through April. However, due to the trade winds and mountains to the southwest, rain is seen even during these months. Like many other cities in the Caribbean, Santo Domingo is very susceptible to hurricanes. Hurricane George caused severe destruction in September 1998. The lowest recorded temperature has been 11.0 degrees Celsius, 51.8 degrees Fahrenheit on February 5, 1951 and January 7, 1957, and the highest is 39.5 degrees Celsius, 103.1 degrees Fahrenheit on May 29, 2002. Many of Santo Domingo's most notable landmarks are located within the Zona Colonial district of the city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1990. The Colonial Zone, bordered by the Rio Ozama, also has a collection of early 16th century buildings, including palatial houses and majestic churches that reflect the architectural style of the late Middle Ages. The Church and Convent of Los Dominicos is the oldest Catholic building in continuous use in the Americas, and was the headquarters of the first university in the Americas. The city's most important historical buildings include the Cathedral Santa Maria la Menor, the first cathedral of the Americas, which states its distinction, the Alcázar de Colón, the first castle in the Americas, once the residence of Viceroy of the Indies Don Diego Colón, a son of Christopher Columbus, the Monasterio de San Francisco, the ruins of the first monastery in the Americas, the Museo de las Casas Reales, in a monumental complex that includes the former palace of the governors and the building of the former Royal Audiencia of Santo Domingo. The Fortaleza Ozama is one of the surviving sections of the walls of Santo Domingo, which is the oldest military construction of European origin in the Americas. The Panteón Nacional, a former Jesuit edifice now hosting the remains of various renowned Dominicans, and the Dominican Convent, the first convent in the Americas. On the north end of Calle Las Damas, the restored and expanded Plaza de España is bordered by Las Atarazanas, former naval yard, now a museum, and a number of small shops and restaurants. This area was the first European commercial center in the Americas, and is still a hub of activity today. The Alcázar de Colón, having once been the colonial palace of the Columbus family, beginning with his son Diego, is now a museum displaying period furniture and decorations. The building was originally built in 1510, and restored to its current appearance in 1952. A $700 million investment was made in the port of the Ozama River adjacent to the Ciudad Colonial, aiming to turn Santo Domingo into a port of call for luxury cruise ships and including a privately owned marina. The project is being completed by Sans Souci Ports SA. The city proper of Santo Domingo is subdivided into incorporated areas, neighborhoods, called sectors, which could be considered as small urban towns. All sectors are serviced directly by the municipal mayor's office. Santo Domingo is the center of the national government of the Dominican Republic. The President's Office and ministries, National Congress, Supreme Court of Justice, and other main government institutions are located in the metropolitan area. The city is administered by the Ayuntamiento del Distrito Nacional, City Hall, which is responsible for municipal functions. The current mayor of Santo Domingo is Carolina Mejia de Garrigo. The Policía Nacional, National Police, and Policía Turística, Tourist Police, are tasked with enforcing city safety. The city is the center of economic activity in the Dominican Republic. It is where most of the country's wealth is concentrated and the seat of the national legislature, judicial, and executive government. Thank you for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends and families. See you in the next one.